Good morning, everyone. Now, the next topic that is on networking devices, right? So, what do you mean by networking devices? As you could see, that networking devices are the physical devices that allow the hardware within the computer network to interact and communicate with one another, right? That means if with the help of these networks, what we could do, we could safely transfer the data within the computer network, right? That means we could say that these networking devices are also known as the networking hardware devices, right? And these could be known as the physical devices that are used for establishing the connections and to facilitating the interaction between different devices within the computer network, right? And what could be the more definition regarding this networking devices, that these are also referred to as a hardware as well as the networking hardware, right? And some of the examples of networking devices could be just like network interface card, right? This is one kind of networking device with the help of which we could use internet, right? So just like that, we are having some other networking devices as well, just like hub, router, switches, repeaters, gateways, bridges, right? These all are some kind of networking devices, right? Now, to better understand the networking devices, we must know that the number of layers, right? The number of layers we must know that which works on this computer network, right? So basically, within this computer network, we are having 7 layers, right? 7 layers we are having, and this is known as the OSI model, right? So that means these all layers are known as OSI layers, right? Now, first of all, our connection establishes on this physical layer, first of all, right? So this would be known as the first layer, right? Then one by one we are having in total 7 layers, right? So the first layer which we are having is physical layer, right? Now in case this physical layer is responsible for the actual physical connection, right, between the devices, right? This is responsible for the actual physical connection, right? That means how many devices we are having which works on this physical layer, right? So we are having four devices which works on this physical layer, right? So the first networking device which works on this physical layer is NIC, means network interface card, right? After that, the next physical device which we are having on this physical layer is RJ45, right? Then the third networking device which works on this physical layer is modem. Then the next device which works on this physical layer is known as repeater, right? Even though we are having one more networking device which works on this physical layer, that is known as hub, right? So these five networking devices works only on physical layer, right? And as we know that physical layer is responsible for establishing the connection, right? Means it is responsible for the actual physical connection, right, between the networking devices, and to have for the better communication, right? Now, in case of OSI layers, we are having in total 7 layers, right? The first one is physical layer, data link layer, network layer, right? Now, what is the role of the other layers, right? As we know that physical layer is works on the physical connection, right? Data link layer, data link layer basically works on the MAC addresses, right? Then the network layer works on the IP addresses, right? After that, the role comes of transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and application layer, right? So what is the responsibility of this transport layer? So you just have a look that what exactly this layer of works, right? And what exactly the function of this transport layer, right? So this layer takes the data, right? It takes the data and breaks it into segments, right? It breaks it into segments on the transmitting end, right? That means we could say that it is responsible for reassembling the segments on the receiving ends, right? Is it clear? Like what exactly the work of this transport layer, right? It is basically responsible for reassembling the segments on the receiving end, right? Now, what exactly the work or the role of the session layer, right? So this session layer creates the communication channel, right? It creates the communication channels which is known as sessions, right? So it creates the session between the devices, right? It creates the sessions between the devices. Means, for example, you are transmitting one file, right? So for that purpose, like some sessions would be created, right? And this session layer is responsible for opening the sessions, right? And to ensure that that they remain open and it is remain open and it is functional while data is being transferred, right? As well as it is responsible to close the session, right, at the communication ends, right? So this is one of the most important layer within the computer network, right? After that, the role of presentation layer came, right? And what is the function of this presentation layer? That it prepares the data for application layer, right? This presentation layer prepares the data for the application layer, right? Means we could say that it defines that how two devices should encode, how two devices should encrypt and compress the data, right? So it is received so that it could be received correctly on the other end, right? So this is the responsibility of presentation layer, right? You could note it down, right? You could note it down, for example, is the so that you could understand that what is the role of these layers, right? As the main thing in case of this lecture is the networking devices, but to better understand the networking devices you must know that how these seven layers works within the computer network, right? So that is why I'm just telling you, right? You could note it down. Then the role of application layer came, right? This is the seventh layer of OSI model, and this layer is used by the end user software, right? As you could say, check that application layer means application layer means it is used by the end user software, right? Such as web browsers and email clients, etc. Right? Means it provides the protocols that allows the software to send and receive the information and present it in a meaningful data, right? So that users could understand and users could receive the correct file, and they could understand the content which is written onto that file, right? So this layer is used by the end user software, right? Is it clear? Right. So these all are the seven layers of OSI model, right? Now, as I have told you that different networking devices we are having, right? Now, first of all, we would talk about the first physical device, that is network interface card, right? So network interface card works on the physical layer, right? NIC, which stands for network interface card. And the definition of this network interface card you could check from from here, right? This network interface card or network interface controller is a computer hardware component, right? Computer hardware component that connects a computer or a laptop, right, to a computer network, right? So this is one kind of card, but or you could say that it is a device that is attached to each workstation and server, right? And it helps to make the connections within the network, right? So, we could say that many of the synonyms we are having for this network interface card, just like it is also known as network adapter, it is also known as like LAN card or physical network interface card, Ethernet controller, Ethernet adapter, etc. Right? That means this network interface card supports almost all the standard buses for transferring the data between the computers or the networking devices, right? And this network interface card has one unique number, right? That is known as the MAC address, right? So the MAC address is mentioned on this network interface card, right? So each and every device which is connected within the computer network is having its own MAC address, right? So this is the role of network interface card, which is known as NIC card, right? Now we are having the next networking device that is known as RJ45, right? So RJ45, the full form of RJ45 is registered JAG 45, right? RJ stands for registered JAG 45, and it is connected with the Ethernet cable, right? It is connected with the Ethernet cable, and it is a 8 wire connector which is commonly used to connect the computers on LAN, especially the Ethernet, right? It looks like this, right? This is the RJ45 connector, right? In total 8 wire connector it is having, right? And it is connected with the Ethernet cable, and the jack is also known as RJ45, and they are connected with wires to which we connect our computer, right? So this is what, this is RJ45. After that we are having the next networking device that is known as modem, right? So modem, as it stands for, MO stands for modulator, and DEM stands for demodulator. So the full form of modem is modulator and demodulator. And this modulator converts the information from digital signal to analog signal at the transmitting end, and demodulator converts the same from analog to digital at the receiving end, right? So just like this you could see that first of all we are having one computer, right? And in case of computer we are having different kind of digital files, and these digital files could be one image, it could be one video, it could be one audio file, right? It could be the data file, right? Different kind of files we are having, right? And if you wants to transmit, right, if you wants to send this file into another computer, right, that means, and we are having one networking device that is modem, right? So as soon as you would send this file, right, first of all this digital file would be converted into analog signal with the help of this modem, right? After that, like, this is the analog signals, right? And these are the digital signals. Then after that, on the other hand, on the other hand as well, we are having one another modem, right? So this modem would convert this analog signal into digital signal, so that the file which has been transmitted from the PC1, it could be understood it could be understood by the another user on the another end, right? So that means we could say that as computer can't understand our languages, right? Computer can't understand English language, computer understands the language that is 0 and 1, right? So the modem will modulate the signal, right, into sine wave, and this modulated digital signals can run easily over telephone lines. After this, modulation of signal takes place into digital form, right? So this is the role of modem, right? I think it is clear to everyone, how exactly modem works, right? So this is. After that, the next device, that is repeater, right? So why it is used? Repeater, as the name suggests, that it operates at the physical layer, right? As I have told you that on physical layer we are having like 5 networking devices, and one of them is repeater. So the main function of this repeater is to regenerate the weak signal, right? And like to convert it into strong signal. That means we could say that the function of this repeater is to regenerate the signal over the same network before the signal becomes too weak or corrupted, so as to extend the length to which the signal can be transmitted over the same network. That means what we could say about repeater is that it accepts the weak signals. Like first of all, you just check the like picture for it. This is one kind of repeater, right? This is one kind of repeater, and like if you are using repeater within the network, that means it works like this is a repeater, right? And it converts all the weak signals into strong signals, right? How? Basically, it accepts the weak signals, and then it amplifies the signals for further transmission, because when signal transmits through wire, then the signal could be lost, but then repeater is used to convert the weak signal into strong signal, right? And for that purpose, like various wires are used, but different wires having different range, right? So some of the wires could transmit the data till 100 meters. Some of the wires could transmit the data till 200 meters, just like that. But if we are using fiber optic cable, then in case of that, the range is up to 60 kilometer, right? And as like to connect various devices within the computer network, we need the good wires, right? So in case of that, fiber optic cables could be used, right? And for repeater, we could say that do not amplify the signal. They do not amplify the signal. When the signal becomes weak, they copy the signal bit by bit and regenerate it at the original strength and at a very high signal bound, right? They transmit the data, right? And it's a two-port device, and a single Ethernet segment can have a maximum length of 500 meters within a maximum of 100 stations, right? So this is the total, or you could say this is the functioning of repeater. After that, the next device which we are having within the computer network is hub. It works on physical layer of the computer network, and it is a multi-port repeater. Okay, it is a multi-port repeater, and this hub connects multiple wires coming from different branches. For example, we could say that connector within a star topology connects different workstations, and hubs cannot filter the data, so the data packets are sent to all the connected devices. Now what is the meaning of it? First of all, you just check the picture for it, right? And you just understand with the help of this diagram. As you could see that it is a multi-port repeater, right? Multi-port repeater, that means multiple ports we are having in case of hub, right? But it is a non-intelligent device, right? Why it is non-intelligent device? Because as you could see that I have explained over here that it cannot filter the data, right? What is the meaning of it? The meaning of it is like when one device or one PC transmits some of the data within the computer network, then automatically it would be passes to all the workstations or to all the connected devices. Means the data packets would be broadcasted, right? As soon as the signal passes from here, then it would be broadcasted within all the connected devices. So this is one of the major disadvantage of the hub, right? We could connect multiple devices within the hub, right? But the main problem is like the message, the file or the data packets which we are sending, it would be broadcasted, right? As you could see from here as well, right? This is one kind of hub, right? Means number of workstations are connected with each other, number of devices are connected with each other. But the main problem in case of hub is it is a non-intelligent device, right? It is a non-intelligent device, and the data packets which you are sending, or the files which you are sending, it would be sent within the complete network, right? So in other words, we could say that collision domain of all the host connected through hub, which remains one. Also, they do not have the intelligence to find out the best path for data packets, which leads to inefficiencies and wastage. Means you could understand it it is one electronic device that connect several nodes, right, to form a network, and it redirect the received information to all the nodes, like to this node, to third node, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, means all the connected nodes, right? That means all the information would be broadcasted. That is why it is called non-intelligent device, right? So this is one of the networking device which works on physical layer, but the main problem is that the message would be sent within this computer network, it would be broadcasted, right? So that is why we just have one another networking device that is known as and that works on data link layer, right? And on data link layer, two devices works. The first one is bridge and the second one is switches, right? Bridges and switches. So these are the two networking devices which works on data link layer. Okay, now you just have a look about this bridges as this is one kind of a networking device, but how it works and what is the differences between these number of devices, right? So first of all, if you would know that what exactly the work of these number of networking devices, then obviously you could differentiate between these different devices, right? So bridges, as bridge connect multiple hubs, right? Bridge connects multiple hubs, and because hubs works on the collision domain, right? So I'll tell you soon. First of all, just check the definition of bridge. The bridge operates at data link layer, and a bridge is a repeater with add-on functionality of filtering the content by reading the MAC addresses of the source and destination, right? That means bridge is one kind of intelligent device, right? Bridge check the MAC addresses of the source and the destination, but the problem would be on the collision domains, right? You just understand it with the help of some other content. Bridges are also used for interconnecting two lanes working on the same protocol, and it has a single input and single output port, thus making it a two-port device. Okay, thus make it a two-port device. So about bridge, we could say that it divides the network in the different collision domain. Okay, it divides the network in the different collision domain. Now what is this collision domain? What do you mean by it? So we are having one network connected with the hub and another network connected with another hub. Now these multiple hubs is connected with the bridge, right? So bridge is one kind of intelligent device. It is one kind of network intelligent device, but hub is non-intelligent device, right? So bridges stops to send the message on the complete network, right? Bridge would be stopped all the messages to broadcast it within the complete network, right? But the problem is still in the hubs, in case of this network, the data packets which you would send, it would be broadcasted within the complete network on this collision domain, right? The same problem would be in this another collision domain, right? Only and only the bridges would stop to broadcast the file into the complete network, right? But still the problem would remain same on these collision domains, right? So that means obviously we need some another device so that intelligently the data packets could be sent only to the correct IP address, right? So that means in case of bridge as well, we are having some of the disadvantages, right? So after that, the next networking devices has been introduced, that is known as switches. Okay, so now what do you mean by switches? Okay, so switches, these may be operated at one or more layers of the OSI model, and they may operate on the data link layer and network layer. And this is a device that operates simultaneously at more than one of these layers, which is known as multi-layer switches. Means how it looks like? It looks like this. Okay, this is one kind of switch, as you could see the another picture of the switches, right? So this is one kind of intelligent device, right? And I've like, why we could say that this is one kind of intelligent device, because like a switch can check the errors before forwarding the data, and it makes it more efficient and improves its performance, right? And a switch is the better version of a hub, and we could say that it is a multi-port bridge device. Okay, means like we could say that this is one intelligent device that connects several nodes to form a network, and it redirect the received information only to the intended node, right? So that is why we say that it is one kind of intelligent device. Why? Because it stores the MAC address table. Okay, these switches maintain one MAC address table of all the connected nodes, right? So that is why we say that this is one kind of intelligent device, because it maintains the MAC address table, like to whom is to be sent the that file, right, within the network. Okay, so this is one efficient networking device. After that, we are having the next device, that is router. Okay, so how this router works? Router is what? Router is a device. Okay, router is a device like a switch that routes the data packets based on the IP addresses. Basically, router and gateway works on network layer. Okay, this point should be noted by you people. Okay, you just note it down that router and gateway works on the IP addresses on the network layer. Okay, so router is mainly a network layer device. It looks like this. Basically, we just use it at our home. In nowadays, like router is used to take the connection from the different ISPs, means the different like internet service providers, right? As about router, we could say that router works on the network layer and it uses the IP addresses, and to take the connection from one of the internet service provider, right? For example, what do you mean by internet service provider? Just like Airtel is one kind of internet service provider, Geo is one kind of internet service provider, BSNL is one kind of internet service provider. Means who is providing the internet services to us. Okay, so if you want to take the connection at your home, okay, from one dedicated internet service provider, just like from Airtel, or you could say about Geo. Okay, so each and every internet service provider is having different networking structure. Okay, but like we wants to take the connection from the you could say from Geo. Okay, so to take the connection from the line, from the outside line into our home, for that purpose we just use repeaters. Okay, for that purpose we just use repeaters. Okay, so at our home we are having one network in which multiple devices could be connected. Just like for example, if I'm just taking the connection from Geo, okay, at my home, so first of all router would be used. Okay, and with the help of this router I could make different number of connections within our home. Okay, we could say like the LAN, one LAN network could be customized at my home. Okay, I could connect my laptop, I could connect the PC, personal computer, I could connect the mobile phone as well as the television, the smart TV, as well as like we could connect different number of devices at our home with the help of this router. Okay, so we can say that one LAN connection network has been created with the help of this router. So, like router normally connects LANs and WANs together. Okay, so WAN means the outside network, right? And at home, I'm just creating the type of LAN network. Okay, so that is why we say that router normally connects LANs and WANs together, right? And it have a dynamically updating routing table based on which they make the decisions on routing the data packets. Okay, so means a router is used to route the data packets between two networks, right? How it like works, it reads the information in each packet to tell where it is going. Okay, so this is one kind of another router. Okay, so we could say that router checks the data which is coming and for your network addresses. Okay, so first of all it checks कि whether the data which is coming, it is for your network address or not, right? If it is for your network address, then only it would be routed to our network address, right? So this is the main functioning of router. It do not send the broadcast packets, means it is one kind of intelligent device. It is not like just like hub and bridges. Okay, this is one kind of intelligent device which doesn't broadcast any of the file. Okay, which doesn't broadcast any of the corrupted data packets within the network. Okay, so if the routing table does not indicate the proper address of the packet, then the packet would be discarded or the packet would not be coming in your network. Okay, so this is one kind of network device, that is router. Now the next device which we are having is gateway. This is one kind of networking device and one intelligent networking device which connects dissimilar networks. Okay, dissimilar network means as different ISPs are having different structure, right? As I have told you that for example, you just take the example of Airtel. Airtel is one internet service provider and it is having its own network structure. Okay, so just like that, Geo is having one another network structure. Okay, so gateway is used to connect all the dissimilar network with each other. Okay, so as the name suggests, it is a passage to connect two networks together that may work upon different networking models. Obviously, you could say so, and they basically works as the messenger agents that takes the data from one system, interpret it and transfer it to another system or another network, the another different type of network. So gateways are also called protocol converters and they can operate at any network layer, right? So with the help of this definition, we could say that it is a device that connects the dissimilar network, obviously you could say so, and it establishes an intelligent connection between different types of network. Okay, so this can connect the complete different network structure. You just note it down that with the help of these gateways we can connect the complete different network structure with each other. Okay, so you could check one another picture for it. Just like this is one kind of gateway and number of multiple servers as well as multiple devices are connected with each other. Okay, so gateway is a device that connects this similar network and it establishes the intelligent connection between a local network and an external network with a completely different structure. And a gateway can translate the information between different network data formats or network architecture. Okay, means it is the internet service provider. We could say that this gateway is one kind of internet service provider that connects the user to the internet, as different ISPs works on different structure. So to connect two different ISPs, or you could say like two different gateways is used, Like Airtel uses different network structure, whereas Jio is using like different network structure. So like gateway is used to connect two different internet service providers with each other, okay, and to having a very strong computer network. Okay, so for that purpose we use gateway. Okay, so hope with the help of this lecture you have understood all about the different computer networking devices. Okay, so now I have completed all the network or you could say network hardware devices within this lecture. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you everyone.